My name is Chantal Maria from Nairobi. My name is
Standing before you is Samatis Ntandi, and I'll be speaking on the impact of drug abuse on the mental health of teens in South Africa.
Hello everyone, my name is Chikula Winston. I'm from Nigeria and I'm going to be speaking at Hangout with See you there.
Hi guys,
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Hangout with the Stars 2025. Please, if you're with me, can I just see some reactions in the chat box?
Yes.
Please, can we mute if you are not speaking? Please let me know we're together. Can I see some Hello, can you hear me? Please, if you can hear me, let me know. Okay. Yes, I see some reactions and responses in the chat box. So welcome once again to Hangout with the Stars 2025. It's such an awesome platform to get to hear our young people educate us and open our eyes up to their understanding of various social issues that affect both adults, teenagers, and children. And it is such an honor and a privilege to be hosting this event today. My name is Alice Akko, and I am joining in from Rwanda. For today's session, we're going to be dealing with social media, the effects of social media on our teens and on our children. And to moderate today's session is Gad Baridoma. Gad, please, can you just say hello so that we know you're here?
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here.
Yes. So Gad Baridoma is a Nigerian creative professional known for his work in spoken word poetry, writing, and media. He is an associate with the International College of Safety Management Professionals, where he holds a postgraduate diploma in human resources management. Gad Baridoma has contributed to Medium, writing about topics such as the Ubuntu philosophy, amongst others. He hosts a podcast on Spotify tagged Growth Tip with Gad, focused on personal development and productivity. He is also a Dale Carnegie certified public speaker and trainer. Please, let's put our heads together as we welcome Gad to moderate this event today. Gad, the floor is yours.
Hello. Thank you so much, Alice.
Hello, Alice.
Yes.
Please check your direct message.
Okay.
Please check your direct.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. Okay. All right. Hope we're together. So I see a few people joining in. So just hold on so that we can get more people to join in. While we're at that, like I said earlier, my name is Alisa Ko and I'm joining in from Rwanda. I'll please like us to introduce ourselves so that we get to know the people on the call. I see Charissa, I see Aranishe. Please, if I murder your name, forgive me and help just pronounce it nicely for me so that I can get it the next time. I see Audrey, I see Chukun Naluo Tito, I see Oluwatishe Devi. Please, could we unmute and just introduce ourselves and tell us where we're joining from? Audrey, it would be good to hear your voice. Please, you have the floor.
My name is Ojude and I'm joining in from Nigeria.
Beautiful. Welcome, Audrey. We are happy to have you. I see Sheun Adewumi. Please, if you could unmute and let us know where you're joining us from.
Hello, everyone. My name is Shewa Deomi, and I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria.
Good to have you, Sheun. Welcome. Tina, I see Tina Oshikoya.
Hello, this is Tina Oshikoya. I am joining in from Manchester in the UK.
Welcome, Tina. We're happy to have you here. I see Vianney. Okay. Vianney, please, you can help us pronounce the name appropriately. Okay. I see Tiara Olua Adewumi. I think we've spoken.
Hello, my name is Tiara Olua Adewumi, and I'm joining from Nigeria, Lagos.
Nice to have you, Tiara. Welcome. You have a beautiful name.
Thank you.
I see Arella Ude. Okay, I see David. I see Zoom user. Zoom user, please can you let us in on your name so that we can address you appropriately?
Hello, my name is Demi Oshikoya and I'm joining in from Manchester.
Welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay. Charissa, have I heard your voice?
Hello guys, my name is Umtoni Charissa and I'm joining from Rwanda.
Welcome, Charissa. Good to have you. Zama Zizi. While we're waiting for Zamazizi to unmute and tell us where she's joining in from, I'll just implore us to please send the links to our friends, send the links to our family, church groups, because this issue, especially to the teenagers and the children in our lives, because the issues we are going to deal with have become social problems, have become public health concerns. And we really want to expose our teenagers and our children to know the effects of the various issues we are dealing with today and ways to keep free from them. So please send it to the teenagers send the links to parents, let them join in. Let's have a fuller room because this discussion today is very rich and we don't want just a few persons to have access to this kind of information that we're going to be making available, that our young people, our panelists are going to be making available today. So we'll just give us some minutes to send the links across our statuses, Facebook, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, Instagram, and all the social media platforms. And of course, direct messages always serve better. So just give us some minutes to do that while we ask Zamazizi to introduce herself and tell us where she's joining in from. So Vianney, I see that your video is up. Do you want to tell us your name and where you're joining in from? You're muted.
Oh, hi, my name is Vianney, and I'm joining you from the UK, and my brother is with me.
Very nice.
And his name is Kirian.
His name is?
My brother's name is Kirian.
Kirian. Nice to have Vianney and Kirian.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Hello. Hello. Yes. Hello, anyone?
Hi, Vianney. Vianney, yes, we are right here. And we are waiting for a few more persons to join. So if you have friends, you may want to share the link with your friends as well so that they can join in and you can have a rich conversation.
I can't see the mess to how to type stuff. How do I type stuff, please?
Is there any adult with you? You're muted.
I said my dad is my dad.
Okay. I'm sure your dad can help you with that because I don't know the device you're joining from.
Yes.
You're joining with. So God, if you're here, please let me know.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. Okay. So like I said earlier, God Baridoma is our moderator for today, for today's session for today's session. And like we know, this is Hangout with the Stars 2025. And we're going to be dealing with topical issues. And the issue we're going to be dealing with in the junior category today is the influence of social media on young people. And Gad Baridoma is the moderator. Gad, you're welcome to take the floor.
Okay, thank you so much, Ali. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're joining in from. It's so good to have you all joining to our rich conversation with youngsters from Africa, where we get to discuss issues that are about our young people, but we're going to discuss through the lens of, Africa. So we have, for today's discussion, we have 5 panelists who are well equipped and prepared to really dissect the various subtopics we have on the issue of discourse today. And today we'll be looking at the influence of social media on young people. That's the theme of our discussion today. And we have 5 panelists. We have Joel from Zambia. We have Audrey from Nigeria. We have Chukunalu from Nigeria as well. We have Charissa from Rwanda. We have Oluwatishe Adewumi from Nigeria. So these are 5 outstanding panelists for today. So I want to urge you to get your notepad because you're really going to get some insights from these youngsters on the topic we have at hand. And we've broken this discussion into segments where our panelists get to discuss on subtopics. So for our first speaker is Joel Chibanga from Zambia, and he's going to be talking on the subtopic likes, follows, and self-esteem. Likes, follows, and self-esteem, discussing how social media can influence confidence and self-worth. Then the next speaker after Joel would be Audrey Ude from Nigeria, who will be speaking on privacy matters. What should and shouldn't be shared online? Learning how to protect one's personal information. Then third speaker, who is Oluwatishe Adewumi, will be speaking on online kindness versus cyberbullying, understanding how words and actions online can help or hurt others. Our fourth speaker will be discussing on who is Umutoniwase Charissa, basically from Rwanda. And she is going to be talking on balancing social media and real life, encouraging healthy habits and offline activities to maintain overall well-being. Then the fifth speaker for today is Chukwunalu Ugu, and he's to discuss on the power of positive social media use, how young children can use social media for learning, creativity, and connection. So I want you to sit back with your notepad and your pen, whatever writing material you have, and be ready to listen to these youngsters speak. And also give room for questions. We have a 15-minute session for each panelist to discuss, but we would basically take 10 minutes for them to talk, and the remaining 5 minutes will be for your question. So we'll be managing time in that regard. So in the next 1 hour, 30 minutes, we should be done, all things being equal. So I would start with my first panelist by reading a profile of the first panelist. Joel, I hope you're here. Joel, if you're here, can you say hello?
Hello.
Okay, it's good to have you here, Joel. Welcome to today's show. Okay, so a brief profile on Joel. Joel is a Christian teenager who is passionate about sharing the gospel and his experiences with other children. He's a Form 1 student who dreams of becoming a professional footballer. He's skilled in public speaking and leadership with accolades to his name. Joel enjoys traveling, playing football, playing chess, and reading. You're welcome, Joel. Everybody, can we just applaud Joel? Can we welcome him? You're welcome, Joel. Welcome to today's show. How you doing, Joel? Hello, Joel. Hello, Joel. Can you hear me? Hello, Joel. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you say hello?
Hello.
You're welcome. You're welcome once again. So, everybody, Joel is going to be talking to us on likes, follows, and self-esteem, how social media can influence the confidence and self-worth of the average young person. So, Joel, take it away. You're welcome.
Um, Thank you for the opportunity. Um, Within the time that I've been given, I will talk about the effects of social media on children's self-esteem and confidence within the excess use of social media platforms, and how the likes and follows that children receive can influence how young children view themselves.
Okay. So Joel, what are your thoughts regarding how likes and follows really influence the self-confidence of the average young person? What are your thoughts? Hello, Joel. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Take it away. Take it away. So, talk to us about how likes, follows can influence the self-confidence of the average young person. Take it away. Go ahead. You're
I would
muted. You're
start
muted,
with
Joel.
how.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you're muted, you can go ahead.
Okay.
Joel is having technical issues, but he's definitely going to join it. Hello, Joy. Joel, if you can hear me, you can continue. We're trying to get to hear you. Hello, Joel. Okay, I think Joel is experiencing technical issues. So when he's stable, we'll get him onboarded so he can continue with us. So while I'm expecting Joel to sort out his technical challenge, I would I would want us to. So if you're just joining in, I would just want you to send to the chat box your name and where you're joining in from while we wait for Joel to get back to us. So if you're just joining us, can you just send in the chat box your name and where you're joining us? While we are waiting for Joel, Audrey will be taking the next panelist. Audrey would while we're expecting Joel to sort out his technical challenge. So Audrey will be taking us now. Audrey, are you here? Can you say hello if you're here?
Hi.
Okay, hello Audrey. How you doing today?
I'm fine.
Great. You're welcome. So while we are expecting Joel to come in, so Joel is definitely going to come after your session. So Audrey would be speaking, and now Audrey will be speaking on privacy matters. Remember, we're talking about the influence of social media on young people, and the subtopic that Audrey will be talking on is privacy matters. What should and shouldn't be shared online? Learning how to protect one's personal information. That's what Audrey will be speaking about. And just a brief profile of Audrey so we can get to really know her and what she's into. So please, if you're not speaking, can you mute your mic? Thank you. So Audrey Ude is a young teenager with a passion for making a difference in the aspect of health, with an interest in becoming a future medical doctor. Her curiosity to explore more world leads her to love reading, be it novels or documentaries. She's always striving to get more books to spend her free time on to increase her growing knowledge. Her curiosity encourages her to be more social, do more things, and generally become an active young girl ready to make a change in her world today. What an amazing profile for Audrey. Audrey, you're welcome once again.
Thank you.
Okay, so Audrey, what are your thoughts regarding privacy matters when it comes to social media use?
Okay, so I want to talk about how, so social media has a profound influence on young people, shaping their identities, relationships, and their worldviews. So some of the positive influences of social media are connectivity and community. Social media helps young people connect with others who share similar interests, creating a sense of belonging. That's for one of the positive influences. Then the second one I have here is it helps to express oneself and identity. So social media provides a platform for self-expression, allowing young people to explore and showcase their identities. So now for the negative influences, one of them is cyberbullying and online harassment. Social media can be a good breeding ground for bullying and harassment, which can have serious consequences for young people's mental health. Like it can cause them depression, anxiety, or to feel less than what they actually think they are. It can reduce their self-esteem and confidence. So then the second one is sleep deprivation and physical health. Exposure to screens too much and the constant notifications from social media can interfere with sleep patterns and contribute to physical health problems, like eye problems if you're always focused on a bright screen for so long. It can give you that. Now, some of the young people's strategies for healthy social media use. Set boundaries, set personal boundaries. Establish limits on social media use, including time limits and content restrictions. Like you should always have a time limit. Let's say I'll do this on this app for 1 or 2 hours or 1 hour, 30 minutes, then go do something else that is productive. Because social media is actually just for leisure. Then the second one, prioritize real life connection. Nurture offline relationships, and you should engage in activities that promote face-to-face connections. Because even though your online friends won't be there, you always still have your family and the friends you see in school, the friends that you see at home, and all that. Thank you.
Amazing, Audrey. That's quite insightful when it comes to social media use and privacy matters. I really love the fact that you talked about self-expression, and the need to limit how much screen time we spend, when it comes to social media. I have some questions for you just to enrich our discussion today. I have basically 3 questions for you, Audrey. Are you ready for my question? So while I'm taking my question, I would need members of our audience, if you have a question, please, you can type it in the chat box so that when I'm done with Audrey, I can get to read your question and she can get to answer. So while I'm asking her the questions I have for her, please, you can send your questions to the chat box. Thank you very much. So back to you, Audrey. I have 3 questions for you. So my first question is, what should young children be cautious about when it comes to sharing stuff online?
Okay, some of the things that they should cautious about sharing online is the first one, their full name. So your first names can be okay in some settings, but your full name should be avoided to prevent tracking or stalking. Then the second one that you should be cautious about sharing online too is their home addresses or their school name, because this could reveal their location at all times and put them at a greater risk of kidnapping, stalking, or people tracking them down. Thank you.
Amazing. So they should be cautious of their full names online and sharing their live locations, especially home and school addresses. That's so amazing. That's so amazing. My second question now for you is, how can, excuse me, how can they protect, young people, how can they protect their privacy while still enjoying social media? Because it's important to also balance the two. While you're paying attention to privacy, you should also try to enjoy social media because of its positive use. So the question is, how can they protect their privacy while still enjoying social media?
Okay, one of the ways that they can protect their privacy is by using privacy settings. They should set their accounts to private, so only approved people or friends can see their posts. Then the second way I have here is turning off location services. They should always turn off their location services so as to avoid people tracking them or as to avoid being stalked at school, home, or anywhere else. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So that means they need to pay attention to their settings, privacy settings, and be careful to turn off their location services. Wow, that can help them, protect their privacy. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. My last question before I let members of the audience in on their question. My last question is, why is it now important to keep some things private when you're online? Why is it
Okay,
important to keep your stuff private when you're online?
Okay, one of the reasons why it's important to keep some stuff private when you're online is that to protect your identity. Sharing too much information about yourself can lead to identity theft. If hackers piece info about you, they can scam you or impersonate your identity. Then another reason why it's important to do that is preserving your reputation. Whatever you post on internet stays there and it remains. So future employees or your employers, friends, or even your normal family members can judge you on what you post on the internet, because it's what you put there. You put it for everyone to see. So they are meant to be like, oh, that you already thought about putting this there. So they'll just judge you without knowing the full story. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So I noted you said it helps us protect our identity. It helps prevent impersonation. It also protects our reputation, especially for
Yes.
future purposes. Maybe you will want to apply for jobs and all of that. That is so insightful. I'm really getting to learn so much from you, Audrey. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So before we proceed, I want to check if we have some questions from members of our audience. So someone is saying hi in the comment section. I don't know if this person has a question. Vianney, do you have a question? Vianney and Kira, do you have a question for Audrey? Hello. Okay. While we're waiting on Vianney, does anyone else have a question for Audrey? She spoke on privacy matters when it comes to social media use among young people. And she made a lot of salient points. Yeah, hello.
What if my question is, what if you when you said your family won't judge you, if will your friends judge you on social media? Will they?
No,
Okay.
your friends, yes and no. Your friends may judge you because you put it out there. But if they find out the real story, or they really know you, or they are close to you, that means they won't judge you because they'll know that you just put it out there for content.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. Who else has a question for Audrey? You can send it to the chat box, or you can, let me know. We'll grant you the space to do that. Anybody? Okay. So please, we encourage questions. This helps our panelists really process their thoughts and emphasize more on the things they spoke about. So we really encourage questions. Okay. So I noticed that Joel is back with us. So please, can we just applaud Audrey for that insightful session where she spoke on privacy matters when it comes to social media use, what we should share and what we shouldn't share online. Thank you so much, Audrey, for taking our time to speak on your topic. That was really lovely and insightful. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay, great. Can we just give a round of applause for Audrey? Please, can we appreciate her in the comment section? Can we just appreciate her in the comment section? While George is getting prepared to resume his session, please, can we just appreciate Audrey in the comment section? Please, if you're here, let us know that you're present. Okay. Okay, someone just sent in a question. Okay. Okay, great. We have a question from Timmy. I don't want to pronounce the surname, so I don't make a blunder of it. Apologies. But Timmy has a question for you, Audrey. The question is, What are the signs that a website is safe to use? What do you think
Okay,
about that, Audrey?
if a website is safe to you, there's usually like a lock at the top at the website name that says secure. So you would know if a website is safe if you see that.
Wow, that's so tech savvy. It's that you sound like someone who is into coding and programming, and that's so amazing, Audrey. Wow. Timmy, I don't know if that answered your question. Okay, she said, Timmy said, thank you. Thank you so much, Audrey. Thank you so much. Okay, let's proceed. So, Joel, are you here? Can you say hello if you're back? Joel.
Um, Hello.
Okay, we noticed you had a technical challenge. Welcome.
Um, thank you.
Okay, everyone. Yeah, welcome back. So, um, Joel was our first speaker, and he was speaking on likes, follows, and how they influence and affect the confidence of the average young person. So, Joel, can you continue from where you stopped when it comes to likes, follows, and how they influence self-confidence?
Yes, I was on the points associated with how social media can affect young children's self-esteem and confidence. Now, the points below that include the following: unrealistic comparisons and standards, the constant seeking of validation, cyberbullying and online harassment, fear of missing out, body image issues, and addiction and mental health. Within unrealistic comparisons and standards, children may tend to compare themselves to seemingly perfect lives, which is, according to the child, essential for their well-being. And if they are unable to do it, or they have insufficient balance, as put it, may develop feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and depression. The constant seeking of validation. Because of their seemingly perfect lives, they may tend to become one of those people on social media platforms with their constant seeking of validation. And if they're unable to access most of the social media platforms, or their likes and followers are not as popular as the people that they see on social media platforms, may develop feelings of non-self-worth and inadequacy. Cyberbullying and online harassment. Social media can be a breeding ground for cyberbullies, which is a negative experience, especially for teenagers of this day and age. Within the excessive use of social media comes cyberbullies who would want to negatively impact children's self-esteem and confidence. Their fear of missing out. Because of their constant seeking of validation, they may want to popularize
Okay. Joel, are you still there?
themselves through the latest trends and activities, complete the activities, or they as useless and less.
Oh, I think we lost Joel again. Wow. Well, we are okay. Joel, are you still here? Joel, are you still here? Please, we need to hear you. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself and continue? Your voice was breaking, so we didn't really process and get to understand your thoughts.
That was on the first question I was given. God, could you please inform to me the next question?
Okay. So if I got what you said correctly, you were speaking on how likes online, follows really influence self-confidence. And I heard you mention seeking validation and unrealistic comparisons and standards. I think those are very important points when it comes to self-confidence and esteem, where young people have to be very careful so they don't let the likes and the follows influence how they see themselves and make them make unrealistic comparisons. That's amazing. So the next question I have for you, Joel, is now I needed to emphasize on this one a bit. I know you talked a bit about it, but just for emphasis, can likes and follows influence how young people view themselves?
Yes, likes and follows can significantly influence how children view themselves, often leading to a focus on social validation, which was mentioned in the first question, and potentially impacting their self-esteem and confidence, including their mental health. Within this, I've portrayed the following points: the social validation and self-worth, impact on self-esteem, comparisons and unrealistic standards, fear of missing out, cyberbullying and negative experience, seeking attention, and mental health concerns. Then
Wow,
social validation.
wow, wow. That's quite insightful. So my last question, while we're expecting our audience members to also package their questions, okay? My last question, actually, before I get back to the audience for their question, is this. Can spending too much time on social media make you feel worse about yourself as a young person?
I would agree that social media can make you feel worse about yourself within the certain areas in which children need to focus more on, like within their mental and emotional health, their physical health, and their relations with other people. Within these, the excessive use of social media can hinder certain development activities within these points. Within mental and emotional health comes anxiety and depression, loneliness and social isolation, low self-esteem, fear of missing out, cyberbullying and online harassment, social media fatigue, and addiction. Within physical health comes sleep disturbances, physical inactivity, and eye strain and headaches. Within their relationships and other areas of life comes relationship problems, reduce in productivity, social media fatigue, and distraction from real life activities.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you for doing justice to the questions I asked. Now I want to get back to the audience members. Hello, everybody. So if you have a question for George, please, I would want to take your questions now. So you can either send your question to the chat box or you indicate so I can let you speak. Hello, everybody. If you have a question, you can send it to the chat box or you can indicate so we can let you speak. Any question for Joel? What was your major takeaway? What is something about the influence of likes and follows on the esteem of young people? What about that do you want to get proper clarification on? So now is the best time to send in those questions. Let's get the thoughts of a youngster. Let's get to hear from someone who is also into social media and is using it properly. So if you have a question, we would like to take your question. Okay. Okay. Should I assume we don't have questions for Joel? Should I assume he did justice to his topic and we all understood what he was talking about when it comes to follows and likes on social media? I guess I want to assume that we all follow through. So please, can we just give Joel some applause, a round of applause in the comment section? Can we just say thank you, Joel? Can we just do that in the comment section now? Can we appreciate it? Okay, and thank you, Audrey, for answering the question from Charissa in the chat box. That's great. Please, can we just appreciate Joel? Can we just say thank you, Joel, for his wonderful presentation and insight? Thank you, Joel. His name is Joel, Joel. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Joel, for spending time to talk to us about likes and follows and how they influence self-esteem and confidence of young people. Thank you so much, Joel.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, all right. All right. I hope we are gleaning one or two things from his session. So we are going to our third speaker. It's surprising that we're moving at the speed of light. But really, we want this session to be as engaging and conversation as possible. And that would be possible when we get to hear from the members of the audience. It shows that we are together and we've been understanding what our panelists have been talking about. So I really, really, really am encouraging questions. So next on tonight's schedule is Oluwatishe Adewumi. Oluwatishe, if you're here, can you say hello?
Hello, everyone.
Hello, you're welcome. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Awesome, amazing, amazing. So Oluwatishe, our next panelist, still just to remind our audience members, we are still talking about the theme, we're still talking about the theme, the influence of social media on young people. And we've gotten insights from other youngsters on the various areas on social media use. But now we want to hear from Oluwatishe Adewumi, who will be speaking on this, on online kindness and cyberbullying, especially when it comes to understanding how words and actions online can help or hurt others. So Oluwatishe will be speaking to us on online kindness and bullying. So over to you, Oluwatishe. But before you take your presentation and we start our conversation, I would want to read a profile of Oluwatishe so that our audience members can really get to appreciate your person. Okay. Great, great, great. As you can see on your screen, okay. So Oluwatishe is a critical and analytical thinker. Yes, he's a critical analytical thinker. He's a young teenager with strong passion for robotics and STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. He has been part of a national robotics competition where he showcased a lot of zeal and passion for technology. He's a problem solver, result oriented, and always looking for ways to proactively provide solutions to resolve real life issues. His personal slogan is, I will leave things much better than I made them. He has a growth mindset and is an astute creative in the area of graphics design and artwork. As you can see, you can tell this is a loaded young man who has so much insight and has so much to share with us this evening or morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. So you're welcome once again, Oluwatish. So now let's start our conversation. So what do you think about cyberbullying and online kindness? How do we balance the two? What do you think about both of them when it comes to social media use among young people?
I think cyberbullying and online kindness, they're kind of like opposites, right? So cyberbullying is when you're mean to someone else, you're making them feel bad. And online kindness is when you show respect to someone, you make them feel valuable and you make them feel belong. So they're basically opposites of each other.
Okay, great. So generally now, can you shed more light on cyberbullying, especially how our actions and words can help or hurt others online?
Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying can happen anywhere around the world. Anywhere with an internet connection, and a victim may feel there's no escape, which is what makes cyberbullying very harmful. And that's why online kindness is very important. Online kindness is when you show people respect and love, it makes them feel valuable, it makes them feel valid, and basically they won't feel any sort of way when they're around you. You gain their trust and you gain their respect. So I think that most of the time, cyberbullying is unnecessary and it is not needed. It's not needed in society. But people do it sometimes because of their insecurities, they lash out on other people. Sometimes it's because of their pride, and there are many other reasons around the reason why people cyberbully. But when you're combating cyberbullying, you should always be sure if you're standing up for someone else that's being cyberbullied, let's say, be sure not to bully the victim as you defend. Be sure not to bully the cyberbullier as you're defending the victim because it could be it could cause the cyberbully to also become a victim, and then you have a double problem.
Wow, that is so insightful. That's a wholesome presentation on balancing, cyberbullying and online kindness, because this is something that is popular among young people, especially from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram. You see people bully on others, become mean and disrespect people, say things that are hurtful. And really, I think you've shed more light on these two things, balancing cyberbullying and online kindness. But to take us further, just for the sake of emphasis and to give our audience members more insight on the nature of what you're talking about, I have just more questions for you. Just for those who did not get what you said earlier, I want you again in one sentence. What is cyberbullying and why is it hurtful to others?
Cyberbullying is when you're mean or disrespectful to another person online, and it is hurtful to others since it can make them feel isolated, it can give them anxiety, and it can easily make someone depressed.
Amazing. It's something that is really not going to add to the environment, because if we have more people who feel isolated, anxious, and depressed because they are being bullied, I think it creates toxicity in our environment. Don't you think so?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So the next question I have for you now is, so audience, our audience, I still encourage you, please note down your questions. We encourage questions. So you can send it to the chat box, and when I'm done, I would read them, or you can, indicate when I'm done so we can get to hear you take your question. So I have two more questions for Oluwatishe. Then after that, I'll be taking your questions. So kindly get them ready for us. Thank you. So the next question I have for you, Oluwatishe, is what are the consequences of cyberbullying? And how can one help stop cyberbullying and promote a safer, kinder online space?
So, for the consequences of cyberbullying, we have mental health issues. It can cause mental health issues. It can lower their grades, having a negative academic impact, and it can cause social isolation, which could eventually, in significant, more serious cases, lead to self-harm or suicide. And for stopping cyberbullying, we have many ways in the modern world, such as report and blocking bullies. Have you ever seen a report button in social media if you click someone's profile? That is mainly used for blocking people who harass you online and cyberbully you. You can support the victim. If you know someone being bullied, you should offer their support. You can speak out against bullying and not be a bystander. If you see someone being bullied, then you should speak up. And you can educate others on the topic of cyberbullying, as I am doing to you now.
Wow, wow, that is so practical. So from what you said, I noted just three things from what you said. So to um, you know, you first talked about the consequences where you mentioned mental health issues because of cyberbullying and the fact that as young people it can get to have a negative impact on academic. I noted those. Then you now talked about when it comes to handling cyberbullying and ensuring we have a kinder and safer space. You said we should report and block those who tend to harass us. I think, which I think is a very valid practical point. You also talked about offering support to those who are victims of cyberbullying, and for the fact that we should keep speaking up against bullies, those who bully people online. That is really powerful. That is so powerful. Then my last question for you before I get back to the audience: how can being kind to others online make a positive impact? Because it's one thing to experience cyberbullying, but it's another thing to be kind to others. So what impact can being kind to others make online?
So when you're kind to others online, it can cause like a ripple effect. Even the smallest acts of kindness, like offering a compliment, showing appreciation, or offering an encouragement, can brighten up someone's day. Is to do the same, making the entire environment more welcoming as a whole. Positive interactions can also build stronger relationships with either with the victim. It, it can boost self-esteem and it can encourage others to be kind. Overall, creating a safer online space for everyone involved.
Okay, okay. That means it reduces how toxic our online space will become when we learn to be more kind to people than mean to them, right?
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. In the chat box, Milo has a question for you. Milo is asking, what is an example of defending a victim without being mean to the cyberbully? Because I noticed you talked about that, you can defend someone, and while defending someone, they may see you to be also a bully as well. So I think that's the backdrop with which he's asking that question. So let me ask the question again. What is an example of defending a victim without being mean to the cyberbully?
So let's say you notice someone is getting bullied, right? And then it's not like you're just going to tell the bully to shut up, nobody likes you. This, that. No, you should approach them in a respectful way. For example, telling them what they're doing is mean and that it is disrespectful and that they should not do it. You should inform them about their actions and how and the impact of their actions towards the victim. If things happen to escalate, for example, the bully starts harassing you instead, then you should get the advice of a trusted adult to be able to get involved in the situation, especially if it's someone you know.
Wow, wow, wow. I think that's a very brilliant response, because I noticed the fact that you emphasized on approaching the bully with respect, because I know one thing bullies lack is respect. They are mean to people. So in a bid to defend someone, from Oluwatisha is saying, is advising that you approach a bully first with respect, then you enlighten the bully about the impact of their action. Then if that is not solving the issue and maybe it may lead to an escalation, they should probably seek adult counsel. Those are your words, right?
Yeah.
Oluwatisha. Amazing. So I hope that answered your question, Mile. Did it? I do hope that did. So we have another question for you from Timmy. Timmy is asking, what steps should I take if cyberbullying threatens my safety? What steps should
I
I take
think
if
like
cyberbullying threatens my safety?
I think that you should probably block the person if they threaten your safety. Maybe they're trying to stalk you or threaten you. I think you should block the person if they're trying to do anything like that. And if you're not able to block the person, if you know them, then you should either speak to them directly or call a trusted adult into the situation.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. So blocking, if it threatens your safety, you're saying you should block. Then if that's not working, you should call a trusted third party who can be another adult. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Timmy. Then I have another. Okay, Timmy, I think that answered Timmy's question. Okay, we have a question from Vianney and Karen. They are asking, how do you enlighten the bully? So you talked about enlightening the bully, to make them understand the impact of the action. So how can one enlighten a bully?
What you should do is you should tell them about what they're doing. For example, if someone is calling another person a big head, then you should say that calling someone a big head is not nice, and I don't think you should do that, or something along the line. So
So
your goal is to tell them the, about what they're doing, explain it's in the victim's point of view.
okay, I think that's really insightful, because most times bullies don't get to understand the victim's point of view. They bully because they think they can bully, right? But I think if you get to make them see the victim's side, maybe to understand, things from their part, I think maybe they may have some empathy. I think that's what Tisha is saying. So, Vianney, I hope that added as an answer to your question. When it comes to enlightening the bully. Any more question for Oluwatisha before we let him go? If you don't prefer typing, you can indicate, then we'll let you speak. else, you can send your question to the chat box. Okay. I think we don't have any more questions. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening to Oluwatishe. And thank you so much, Oluwatishe, for that brilliant and insightful presentation. I'm learning. I'm really taking so much things down, that I would need to start implementing when I'm using social media. Thank you so much for your session. Thank you. So please, can we just appreciate Oluwatishe in the chat box? Let's encourage him. Can we just say thank you, Oluwatishe, or just say thank you? Can we just appreciate him in any way? Just appreciate him. Oluwatishe, thank you so much. Okay. So we have two more panelists for the evening before we call it a wrap. I just hope we get more questions so we can, get to talk more. So coming up next is Charissa. Charissa is going to come there. Chukunalu would take the final round. So Charissa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay, amazing. I can see your beautiful face. Good to have you here. Okay. Yes, so Charissa is joining in from Rwanda, and she's to speak on balancing social media and real life. This is also with respect to the theme, the influence of social media on young people. So she is to speak of balancing social media and real life, encouraging healthy habits and offline activities to maintain overall well-being. Okay, so but before we go straight into the conversation, just a snippet of the profile on Charissa. Charissa is a young teenage girl with a deep passion for connecting with individuals experiencing emotional instability. She is genuinely striving to understand their feelings from their perspective, as we call compassion. Same passion she carries into drawing, which leads her curiosity, driving her to understand people deeply, exploring personal stories and inner worlds by using art to express and heal emotions, like art therapy, which is something quite unique, turning feelings into something meaningful and beautiful. So, in a nutshell, Charissa is a young teenage girl who has a passion to help people with their emotional needs, when it comes to, giving them some kind of therapy. Okay, so we have a very beautiful young lady joining us for this part of the session. So you're welcome once more, Charissa.
Thank you very much. As you said,
Yeah.
social media is used by many people in today's world. Although if we don't strike a balance, if we don't strike to balance social media with other activities, this may cause more harm than good to children and teens. So here are some habits that children can adopt to balance social media and other activities in order to ensure their well-being. Here, like, you have to establish screen time limits. They have to use 1 hour off rule, and foster open communication. You have to organize hangouts with friends and family meals to encourage conversation without a phone. And plan no screen time schedule, a day or a time where you will not use your phone so that it may relax and you can have a time to recharge your mind and discover your thoughts. And create a family plan, encourage physical activity and outdoor plan. Thank you.
Wow. That was a whole lot wrapped in, in one, right? So I want us to break out so our audience members can get to really follow our line of thought, because social media is a very trend topic, an issue in today's world, doesn't just affect young people, affects adults as well, because it's really important that we know how to balance our use of social media and real life. So I want us to break this now into questions where we get to make emphasis so our audience can follow what we are discussing. Now, my questions for you, Charisse. I did hear you talk about habits here and there, but I just need you now to, just for the sake of emphasis, highlight healthy habits that children, not just adults, that children can adopt to balance their social media use. Can you just highlight them now? So, audience members, please, you can pay attention so you can take them down. Healthy habits that
Yes,
children can adopt to balance social media use. Take it away.
yes. So more importantly, you have to limit your screen time. Like when you're using your
Okay.
screen, you have to limit your time, like
Okay.
30 or 1 hour, so that you may avoid headaches and catching eye defects. And prioritize face-to-face interaction. You have to plan a day where you can go out with your friends and organize and sit down with your family and eat and talk about how it's going, how school is going, how everything is going, so that they may know more about you. Because when you're always on your phone, you cannot know more about each other. So it increase and develop friendship and relationship among others.
That's great. I noticed and I highlighted two salient points from the healthy habits you talked about. Okay. And I highlighted the fact that one should limit screen time, and you now talked about, prioritizing face-to-face interaction. So, wow, I think those points are so valid, so valid. Okay. So I have other questions for you. Please, audience members, we need as much questions as possible because this is an issue that affects not just young people, but adults as well. So we really need to know how to balance social media and real life. Okay, please, I really encourage questions. So I have another question for you, Charis. The second question I have for you is this. Why is it important to take breaks from social media and spend time doing other activities?
Taking breaks from social media helps to protect your mental health, reduce stress, recharge your mind, discover your thoughts, creativity, and your mind. And it, as I said above, it connects people and also builds experiences. Like you will go back to school and say, I have done this and this uh, without going into your phone and take, like you build up and make new experiences.
Great. You talked about the fact that taking breaks can protect one's mental health. Great. That's
Yes.
amazing because social media is something that the more you spend time on it, the more it, absorbs your attention and maybe affect your mental health. You talked about it recharges the mind. Then the fact, the point that really struck me is the point that borders on productivity. That when you take breaks, it can help you become more productive, either at work or in school. These are the 3 points I took from that response you gave. Thank you.
Yes.
So the last question I have for you before I get back to the audience members. So now, how can one make sure he or she is not spending too much time on the phone or computer?
To make sure that you're not spending too much time on your phone and your computer, you have to turn off your notification and turn on do not disturb and leave home without it, and account your parents with your phone to to be able to do something else or before going to bed. Yes, I think those are the things that may help you to not spend too much time and make sure that you're not spending too much time on your phone and the computer.
Great. So turning off notification, turning on do not disturb, and wow. There's this other part you talked about, reaching out to, giving our phones to parents. But now I need us to really make the discussion still apply beyond just young people, because today's young person will become tomorrow's adult. And we also have some adults joining in, and I want them to also benefit from the discussion. So there's the part you talked about, handing our phones to our parents. Now I'm looking at rephrasing that. Can we still say you can, in a way, limit how much time you spend on your phone by being accountable to someone? It can be your partner for adults, it can be your parents for young people. Can we also say that? Being accountable to someone.
Yes, like if you're not able, like there are some people who there are some people that is very very difficult for them to control or stop themselves from looking or using social media. So in that case, you have to let someone help you. Sorry, you have to let someone help you with your phone so that you can do something else.
Wow, great, 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 great. I really love how insightful your responses are, because the more you're speaking on these things, it makes me see how practical they are. Okay, so now I want to take this back to the audience members. So, do we have questions for Charis? What do we think? We can still, contributions are still valid, okay? Because this is supposed to be a rich conversation. So even if you don't have questions and you have contributions on what our panelists have talked about, we would really want to hear them. In this case, we are talking about balancing social media and real life. What do you think? So I want our audience members to really get to share some of their thoughts or ask some questions. So please, if you're ready to talk, you can let me know. I'll let you speak, or you can send it in the chat box. So let me give few minutes for our audience members to process their thoughts and make suggestions or ask questions on balancing social media and real life. Okay, we expect questions. And while we're expecting questions, I would want to read again the profile of the panelists who just spoke, so we can really get to appreciate her person and what she stands for. While I'm waiting for all of you to, package your question. So once again, Umutoni Wase, Charissa, or Charissa, as I would like to call her because of my challenge at pronouncing her surname, Charissa. Charissa is a young teenage girl with a deep passion for connecting with individuals experiencing emotional instability. She's genuinely striving to understand their feelings from their perspective, I call compassion. Same passion she carries into drawing, which leads her curiosity, driving her to understand people deeply, exploring personal stories and inner world by using art to express and heal emotion, like art therapy, turning feelings into something meaningful and beautiful. Charissa is a young teenage girl with a deep passion for connecting. Okay, I think we just read that again. So, from in a nutshell, what this is talking about is the young girl who has been speaking to us is a teenage girl who loves people and their emotional well-being, and she has let us in on that side of her through her presentation, helping us to see how we can balance, social media and real life, because there's still life outside of social media. And it has been a very insightful conversation. with you, Charissa. Thank you so much for shedding some insight. Okay. Okay, so we'll be taking our last panelist shortly. But before we take our last panelist, I want us to start gathering our suggestions, our contributions from the first, speaker who spoke, to the second, to the third, and now the fourth. So just as a recap, because I would really want us to have some conversation. I'm talking now to the audience members. So the first speaker spoke about, how likes and follows can affect and influence the confidence and self-worth of the average young person. Our second speaker, Audrey, spoke about privacy matters, what should and shouldn't be shared online. Our third speaker, Oluwatishe Adewumi, spoke about online kindness and cyberbullying, especially understanding how words and action can help or hurt others online. Then our fourth speaker, who is still here, Charissa, has been speaking on balancing social media and real life, especially encouraging healthy habits and offline activities to maintain overall well-being. And it's been so insightful, so educating, so enlightening, and mind-boggling. So I've really learned a lot. So I want our audience members to kindly note some contributions they're going to make from the first presentation down to this, and we'll be getting the next presentation from Chukunalu shortly. So we're still expecting questions for Charissa before I let her go. Okay. Any question for her? If you'd want to speak, you can let us know. We'd let you speak. But if you prefer to send in the chat box, you can also do that. We'll read your question or your contribution. Okay. I think we may have something. Okay. Vianney says, thank you, Charissa. So I think we don't have any question for now. So Chukunalu, prepare, you're coming up next. So please, can we just appreciate Charissa? Can we just say thank you in the chat box? Can we appreciate her for her session? She did a thorough job in helping us understand how we can balance our lives with social media. Please, can we appreciate her in the chat box, please? You can use your favorite emoji. You can say thank you. What you appreciate, you attract. The more you appreciate knowledge, you attract knowledge. Someone has shared so much knowledge on an issue. So let's appreciate her with our emoji. Can we say thank you? And this also helps us know how many persons are here with us. Okay. Yes, I can see that. Okay. Thank you so much, Charissa. Thank you for that beautiful presentation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So Chukunalu, if you're here, can you say hello?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Great, amazing, amazing. So we'll be looking at Chukunalu's profile, but before we come to that, while we expect the media to display his profile on the screen, Chukunalu is going to be speaking on the power of positive social media use, how young children can use social media for learning, creativity, and connection. So who exactly is Chukunalu Ugu? So let's get to read his profile to really appreciate his person. So his full name is Chukunalu Otito Ugu, and he's an analytical thinker and budding tech enthusiast with a natural curiosity for understanding how things work. His passion for technology and innovation comes in handy in solving complex problems using simple, creative methods. Whether exploring new gadgets or coding basic programs, he is always eager to learn and find smarter ways to tackle challenges. What a brilliant and handsome young man. You're welcome, Chukunalu.
Good
How
evening,
you doing?
everyone.
Yes,
I'm
good
fine, thank
evening.
you, Andy.
I'm doing very well. It's been an engaging conversation with other panelists, and we hope to get more insights from you. I can see you're loaded. I can see it from the look on your face that you're loaded and you have so much to share with us today. Okay, okay. So remember, everyone, we're still on the theme of the influence of social media on young people. And now we have another brilliant youngster who is going to be speaking to us specifically on the power of positive social media use, how young children can use social media for learning, creativity, and connection. So, what are your thoughts concerning the power of positive social media use, Chukuna?
Social media can enhance children's education in many ways.
Go ahead, talk to us, Chukuna.
Okay, there are tons of ways social media can enhance children's education. YouTube Kids is one of them. Another one is National Geographic Kids, and so many others we won't be able to mention here due to lack of time. One important thing to know is that all these platforms have security settings and privacy settings, so that parents will be worried what their children are watching, because anything that children are watching, they are also watching. Another way social media can enhance children's education is by children joining safe online platforms. Some of those platforms are Azumi and Lego Life. On Lego Life, kids can share their Lego creations and participate in building challenges. With Azumi, children can learn using games and videos. There is this community I belong to. Here, we answer people's questions. The beauty is that as as you are answering people's questions, you are also learning. The third thing that social media can enhance children's learning is by providing interactive learning materials. Some children are very active, have high energy level, and a short attention span. They often switch off when there are not enough activities to their engage their energy and sustain their interest. Using these interactive platforms for learning will make learning not just engaging but experiential. Some of these platforms include Zoom, Google Meet, and Kahoot. Sometimes I just wonder how people coped with learning 20 years ago, especially with things they didn't have that were beyond their reach. These are ways social media can enhance learning in children.
Wow, wow. Chukunalu just gave us what I'll call a lecture. You sound like a lecturer. And I was just taking notes because you made a lot of recommendations regarding platforms for kids to use and some safe, especially when you use the word safe. You said safe online platforms for kids where you mentioned Lego Life. I don't know, can you type in that name? Maybe some adults here would want to, get to find that out. Can you type in the name of that platform you mentioned, Lego Life, so that we can get the spelling correctly? Can you type that in before I ask some other question? Because he talked about YouTube Kids, National Geographic Kids, uh, some interactive platforms like Zoom that we're using, Google Meet, amongst others. So I really want us to really get to know about the Lego life he talked about. Probably we just need to be sure of the spell. So please get your questions for Chukwunalu because we have so much to talk about. Because he's our last speaker for tonight, and we really need to have a rich conversation. Okay. So while we're waiting for him to send the correct spelling of Lego Life so we can find that out.
Hmm? Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. You've sent it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, Lego and Life and Azumi YouTube Kids. So these are platforms. Their parents, if you're a parent here, you can
Yeah, you got it
leverage.
correct.
Okay, great. You can leverage this. Okay, so let's go straight to some questions I have for you before I get back to members of the audience. Please, we are open to your contributions and your questions. So Chukunalu, you talked about how positive social media use can be for young people. Now, I want to ask questions so we can get specific, information. My first question is this: how can young children use social media positively for learning new things and exploring their interests? Just for
That's the
emphasis.
question I just answered.
So how exactly? So that our audience members can really follow your line of thought. So just for emphasis, how exactly can they use social media positive for learning new things?
Okay, so social media has a wide span of learning materials. So for those who have short attention span, they can use on social media like Google Meet and Zoom to enhance their learning and engage their energy.
Okay. To enhance learning, they can leverage some platforms like Zoom, Google Meet for learning enhancement. Okay. So parents, we need to look at that because our children need to enhance their learning. It's one thing for them to learn, it's another thing for them to enhance and know more from what they've learned. And online platforms can be very useful. So my second question for you, Chukuna, is about what are some of the creative ways one can use social media to express himself or herself and share, talent.
Okay, one way children can use social media to express themselves or share their talent is by posting their work. If they love to draw, sing, dance, or play an instrument, they can share their talent by posting pictures or short videos of them doing that. It's a great way to show the world what you are passionate about. One can even get lucky and get discovered by philanthropists, institutions, or corporate organizations who would love to invest in their talent. There are some young people who have become global icons because their talents and their passion were discovered on social media by influential people. Take the case of Malala, whose activism was popularized by social media. You can imagine that there were many Malala 20 or 30 years ago whose voices were never heard they because they were not fortunate enough to have social media at their disposal. Many young people have become millionaires because they use social media as a platform to create visibility for their talents. If you notice, we have many successful comedians online. These people were not noticed until they displayed their works on social media, giving them access to a global audience. So these are the points.
Wow. That you made a striking point. Part of your the last thing you said that really got to me, and it's really, really true, where you talked about the fact that when we use social media to create visibility for our talents, it can help us meet philanthropists. And you talked about comedians. Today we are in the phase of more like the rise of content creators, right? So we see a lot of people with different talents. So it's very important that we note that while social media has various uses, we can still harness social media positively, and we can use it by posting our work online. So for every young person out there, for parents, you can also encourage your child. If that child has a singing talent, has any talent, dancing talent, encourage them to share their work online. You never can tell and know who would support your child. That was really brilliant, Chukwuna. Thank you for shedding that uh, light on that question. Now, the last question I have for you before I open open up the chat box for the audience members is, how can social media help you stay connected with family, friends in a positive way? How can social media help you stay connected with family, friends in a positive way?
Okay. Social media has helped many families stay connected by providing a secure space for them to interact. Another way social media has helped families has helped families is by keeping them up to date on their family happenings, to know whether any family member has any issues and come to their rescue. Social media can help one preserve relationships. A good example is WhatsApp group chats. Now, I have been able to keep in contact with some of my primary school friends with social media.
Okay.
So these are some of the points.
Okay. So the main point, my main takeaway from what you said social media provides a secure space for interaction.
Yes.
And yeah, I think that's really true, because if we really want to connect with family and friends, we can still leverage social media. Like you mentioned WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp groups. I still remember the WhatsApp group we used for my family, to stay connected, both those who are outside and within. So I think that's really, really true, and it makes so much sense. Thank you so much, Chukunalu. Um, do does anyone have a question for Chukunalu before we call it a wrap for the night? Because he is our final speaker for tonight. So do you have a question? Do you have a contribution for any of the panelists that have spoken so far? Now we're taking general questions, both the one for Chukunalu and for other speakers. While you're getting those questions sorted out, I would want to oblige you to, get questions. We need to talk. We need to have a conversation. Okay. Okay. So today we've been talking about the influence of social media on young people, and we had the brilliant young man who was our first speaker, Joel from Zambia, who spoke on likes and follows and how they influence self-esteem and confidence of young people. Then the second speaker we had was Audrey Uday from Nigeria, and she spoke on privacy matters, what should and shouldn't be shared online. Then we also listened to Oluwatishi Adewumi from Nigeria, and he spoke on online kindness and cyberbullying, understanding how words and actions can help or hurt others online. Then the fourth speaker we had was Charissa from Rwanda, and she spoke about balancing social media and real life, encouraging healthy habits and offline activities to maintain our overall well-being. And the last speaker has been, and he still is, Chukwunalu Tito Ugu, and he's from Nigeria, and he has spoken on the power of positive social media use, how young children can use social media for learning, creativity, and connection. And so far, so good. Our panelists have done justice to the theme, social media and its influence on young people, and how they can use it positively. So now I'm throwing this back to you, members of our audience. If you have a contribution, what do you think? Because you too have your experience of social media and how social media has impacted you and probably those you know. Okay, so please, while we are expecting those questions, all speakers, all the panelists who have spoken, kindly turn on your camera. You know, we're about to take a group photo. So while we're getting those questions set from our audience members, all panelists that are here, from Joel, Audrey, Charissa, Oluwatishe, please kindly turn on your camera. Thank you as you do that. So please, I'm expecting your contributions or your question. If you want to speak, we would let you speak. So now is the time. So kindly indicate. Let's have a conversation. Okay. We're expecting your questions, so I can see that audience, panelists, they've turned on their cameras. Oluwatishe has, Joel has, Audrey, Chukunalu has. Who else is missing? Okay. Charissa, where is Charissa? Okay. Charissa, if you're here, kindly turn on your camera. So please, we need questions. Okay. Questions or contribution. Okay. So can we in the, I think we don't have questions. I'm guessing so, right? Please, can we just appreciate Chukunalu in the comment section? Can we just say thank you? Can we use our favorite emoji? Can we just appreciate him for that brilliant, mind-boggling, intellectual, educating presentation? It's been an awesome moment with you, Chukunalu. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well done, well done, well done, well done. Okay. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Uh, I think we'll be taking the group photo of all the panelists. Okay. But before we do that, please, I need you, all the members of our audience, please, you can do that in the chat box now. Kindly drop in a sentence or two. What did you learn from all our panelists who have spoken? What did you learn? Please kindly send that to the comment section, the chat box. I'm ready to read it now. Please type in the chat box. What did you learn? What did you learn from our first speaker to the second speaker, the third to the fourth, and to the fifth speaker? Please, audience members, please, you can send that to the chat box. What did you learn from today's session on social media and the influence of social media among young people? What did you learn? Please send it to the chat box. I'm waiting to read your contribution. I'm waiting to read your major takeaway. Kindly send all our audience members. I think I should start mentioning the names I can see here. Please start sending what you learned from this session in the comment section. I can see Adedamola. Please, can you send in? Okay, one person has sent. Okay, we're still expecting that. Okay, Sheon Adewumi said, I learned that social media is not real life. Wow, that's so true. She learned that social media is not real life, and that's so true. That's so apt. She also said we need to be mindful of these people's feelings. We need to be mindful of people's feelings. You know, life is not just about us, it's about everybody, other people's feelings. We need to be mindful of other people's feelings. Please kindly send to the chat box what you learned. This is the last thing we're going to take tonight before we draw the curtain close. Please send it to the chat box. What did you learn today? Adedamola, Adeyinka, I can see one, Arela Ude. I'm sorry if I'm murdering your name. Please pardon me. Davy, we need to get your feedback. What did you get from this session? Fred, today, can we get someone has iPhone? I don't know who that user that is using iPhone. We need your contribution. We need a contribution from Oluwatoyin Idowu. We need contribution. The Zoom user, I guess you're joining in from the UK because I did hear your introduction in the beginning. Please, we need your contribution. Okay, let me read the ones I have now. So from Arela, Arela learned that I learned about when being kind to others, that it can brighten up their day. So we should be kind to others so we can brighten up their day. Noella said, I learned that we don't respond to bullies with bullying. That is so powerful. You don't respond to bullies with bullying, right? Fred today said, I learned so much about protecting your personal data away from the social media. Protecting one's personal data from social media is key. Then Blueberry Learning said, okay. Everybody, please turn on your camera so we can take a group photo. Everybody, please turn on your camera. Then Ade, okay, our Zoom user, I've forgotten your name. Thank you for your suggestion. She said, I enjoyed learning about cyber kindness and limiting screen time. Yeah, that's really, really good. Adeyinka said cyberbullying is damaging, and truly it is. It's damaging. Adedamola said, I learned to ignore cyberbullies so I don't become like them. And she also learned to be kind on social media with her thoughts and comments. Awesome and amazing. Then Noella also said, I learned that we shouldn't share private information like location, surnames, etc. on social media. Wow, that's great. David said, I learned that social media enhances learning and it can boost self-confidence and self-esteem. Oluwa Darasimi. Okay, that's what Oluwa Darasimi got. Okay. Parents, kindly share your experiences. Kindly share your experiences with us. We would also want to get your experiences regarding some of these things we've talked about. As a parent, what has your experience been with social media use? Your children and how they use social media. What are your experiences? We just want to get that from. I noticed we have a parent of one of the panelists here. There's a parent here. I think Shehu Adewumi is here. Would want to hear from you, ma'am, and other parents that are here. What are your experiences so far about this thing? I also noticed that we have Mr. Fred. Mr. Fred is also a parent here. Please, parents, we need you to just share your experience with us on social media use with your child and all. We really need to get that from you. So I've noticed two parents here. So please kindly unmute your mic. So, ma'am, Ms. Shehu Adeomi would want to hear from you, ma'am, before Mr. Fred.
Good evening. Apologies, my camera is off.
Okay.
I think the teenagers have said it all. I think that they've all captured their different sessions nicely, and there's not much to add, but to just really give a recap and to say that they've all done an excellent job in their research and how they've delivered the session. I'm cyberbullying. We see it every day, not just even with teenagers, but with adults as well, full-grown adults. We see people attacking each other on social media every day. And again, social media is not real life. And so people hide behind the screen to just type all sorts of things about other people. It can damage them emotionally, their reputation, etc. And it's so difficult to come back when these damages have been done. So it's an important and timely conversation to have, particularly to equip our teenagers and young ones as they come up to learn to respect other people in the digital and social media space. And it translates into their real life as well when they engage other people, even in school and different other areas, locations that they meet people. So I think that they've captured it nicely, and it's just a good one. It's a good conversation. The conversation should not end here. We should carry it on even as we progress in our daily lives, as they engage. It's a conversation that needs to continually be had so that as they go into the real world as well, they're very mindful of how they're clear about how they should be treated and how they should not be disrespected, and also being clear about not disrespecting other people.
Wow, wow, wow! That's really so insightful. Thank you, ma'am. Just to ask again, ma'am, would this kind of session will it be something you'd like to recommend to your friends, your colleagues, and all maybe for a next edition?
Certainly.
Wow,
Certainly, like I said,
amazing.
the conversation that needs to be had, and more people need to hear about it because it's the reality for many adults as well. So certainly, thank you.
Wow, thank you so much for your insights, ma'am. It's really, really, really wonderful. So I've gotten a response from Mr. Fred, and he said, I learned that as a parent, we should guide our children and monitor their exposure to social media. That one is coming from Mr. Fred. Wow, thank you so much, sir. So Oluwa Tony said, I learned that I shouldn't spend so much of my time online because it will affect my mental health. Indeed, 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 indeed. So I generally would need to still get your opinion of the program, right? So I would really want to hear the voice of Mr. Fred. So I don't know if you don't mind. We really want to feel your voice, to really get to hear you echo what you just said. If you don't mind, can you unmute yourself, sir? We just need to get your overall opinion of the program.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you hear me now? Confirm you can hear me.
We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you, but we can't see your face.
Okay, let me try if I can get my face to be seen, I think. Can you see me right now?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. We can see you now.
All right, thank you, Coach Noella and the team. Thank you so much for setting this up. And I'm so excited because I took time to listen to some of the panelists and their conversations, and it's amazing because we have ambassadors here. We have ambassadors here that are going to touch the world. I imagine at this age, they are already talking like this and talking very boldly. You can imagine what will happen in the next 2, 3, 4 years if we continue in this roadmap. So thank you so much to you and the team. And a lot of things I learned. And then you can imagine some of them talking about protecting your privacy, talking about social media. I think they see there is really not true, that you shouldn't live your life what you see on the social media. You're really having this consciousness and part of their mental growth. And when there, they are going to be ambassadors. So they're not going to be susceptible to bullying, online bullying, or to some scams they'll see online. And they are not going to be so um, over ambitious. Good to be ambitious, but when people form their mindset based on what they see on social media, they could come back to become like a burden to their parents, making unnecessary demands because of what they see on social media. So this is just a game changer for our youth. And it's good to mention that 3 of my friends that I told about this Hangout with Stars, they are ready for their kids, their teenagers to join the next edition. So you can imagine just by telling them what the advantage. I have my daughter here, Audrey Ude, and Arella. They are also excited about what Coach Nila and team are doing, and they look forward to this program. So, and I so like I said, are ready to join in the next session. Three of my friends are ready to pull in their teenagers to join with this hangout with stars. So you guys are doing a great job. I thank you so much. Touching the whole world or wherever we are. So that's a good job. Thank you so much. So much has been learned. So much might not be spoken because of time, but much has been learned. And I give my thumbs up to all the panelists, Chukun, you, Tite, are very right. Then Ola, Tishe, Dewumi, congratulations. Thank you, Joel, Shibanga from Zambia, congratulations. And the I might not be able to see on my screen. You guys are great ambassadors. Thank you so much. We are proud of you. Thank you, Coach Nolan. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And we would want to say you could also invite your friends for tomorrow's edition, because tomorrow's edition is for the senior category. So you could also, invite your friends and let them bring on their teenagers. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic.
So
I will share
yeah.
the link with them. I will share with the link
Yes,
with
sir.
them tonight, and you'll remind them tomorrow. Yeah.
Yes.
Also join us. Yeah.
Okay, because they'll be speaking on drug abuse, among young people. So it's really going to be another level of, insightful discussion and conversation. So, so far so good. I really want to appreciate all the panelists and all the our parents who have joined in. But we can't call it a wrap. I think I want to crave the indulgence of Madam Noella to just give us a parting word before we close. I can't end this without us getting to officially hear from her. So, Madam, if you don't mind, would need to hear from you officially.
Wow, I'm totally blown away. God, I told you that this is not my event. It is your event. Just another member of the audience. I've been scribbling and scribbling and scribbling. I've written so much. The children just blew my mind, honestly. To think that these are children who just finished their end of term exams and they were able to prepare for this session and they delivered so outstandingly well. I'm really, really so proud of them. And because this is a topic that is so relevant and quite timely, really, we really need to keep discussing this. Social media has come to stay, but we have to be intentional in our use of social media. We need to bring to everybody's consciousness the pros and the cons, so that when you're using social media, you're using it to empower yourself and not to disempower yourself. And the children have really spoken brilliantly about how to use social media in a manner that builds us up and not in a manner that tears us apart or tears us down. So thank you so much, God, for that, for the work you just did this night. I mean, all we are seeing this evening is the finished product, but this journey has been over 2 months. We've been on this journey. It's been tasking. It's been quite demanding and challenging, and you pulled it off with the entire team. So thank you. For parents who spend their time grooming their children, getting them ready for today, I'm sure that you're all proud of the work you did and for who your children are becoming. I mean, these kids are boldly tackling global issues. Social media issues are not country or continent specific. Social media issues are worldwide issues. And these are the things that we discuss on this platform. So just like you are proud of your children, I am equally proud with you of their performance. And let's just keep positioning these children, because this is just how leadership starts. Leadership is not it's not an event. It's something that happens gradually, and it happens from where we are standing. We don't necessarily need a title to become leaders. These children have proven that they've got the leadership qualification, even without having that title written on their chest or on the door or anywhere. I can beat my chest to say that these kids are going somewhere. So thank you so much, everybody. And keep it with us tomorrow again by 6 p.m. when the senior panelists are going to take on the topic of drug abuse, a pandemic among teenagers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, and a good night to all of you. Just mark your calendar for tomorrow, okay? 6 p.m. West African time. We see you then. Bye-bye for now.
Please see the link for tomorrow's session in the chat room. Copy and share with your colleagues, your friends, your family, and your associates. The banner is also displayed in the chat section. Let's have more people tomorrow, a fuller